Karl Marx, 1880-1883. Karl Marx, Introduction. Karl Marx 1880-1883 is often treated as a revolutionary and activist rather than a philosopher whose work inspired the foundation of many communities regimes in the 20th century. It is certainly hard to find many thinkers who can be said to have had comparable influence in the certain of the modern world. Them speak out here include Marx's philosophical, his theory of history, his economic analysis, his critical engagement with contemporary capitalist society, raising issues about morality, ideology and politics, and his prediction of a community's future. Curriculum in Marxism. The following are the special features of Marxist curriculum. Marxist philosophy and Dancras will be taught at all levels of education on compulsory basis. The student should be made conscious about class division, unequal distribution of wealth, exploitation of the working class by the capitalist classes. Those subjects are included in the curriculums which tend to develop a skill instead of abstract knowledge. Marxism lays stress on respect for labor, and as such work experience is regarded as an integral part of education. The curriculum includes the socially useful subjects such as science, mathematics, geography, life science, geology, astronomy, the history of communities, movement, and political economy should also be included in the curriculum. At the primary level, only the mother tongue should be taught, but at the secondary level, the curriculum should include foreign language. Creative work and co-curricular activities have been given the important place in Marxist curriculum. These include physical exercise, music, painting, games and sports. Educational objectives in Marxism. Education is to be given to all sections of the society, irrespective of caste, creed, sex, social, and economic status. Universal education should be provided to both sex, and co-education is an accepted principle of Marxism. Education will be universal and compulsory. There should be no difference between schools. The aim of Marxist is provide equal opportunities to all children by establishing the common school system. Marxism advocates secular education in schools. In the Marxist system of education, the only institution in the state and private institution in forbidden. Aims of education. Marxist education will lay stress on indoctrination of ideas and practice. In Marxist state education aims at creating Marxist attitude and values. The state is to be strengthened through the creation of a classes society. The Proletariat will no doubt dominate in the Marxist state, but education will not be limited to a handful of people. Marxism lays stress on providing education to all sections of the society, universal education. Sections of educational opportunity is the Marxist educational goal. Marxist education aims at Marxism good to the Marxism number. Social advancement it to be ensured through education. Hence to Marxism, emphasis is laid on vocational and technological education. The students must learn the fundamental principles of science. In Marxist education, labor and work are considered as integral parts. Physical education is considered as an important aim of Marxist education. Marxist education aims at creating creative, productive, and faithful citizenship. Development of the child mind is the ultimate aim. Education of the child depends to a great extent on the education of the mother. So Marxist education aims at women's education too. Communities manifesto declares free universal elementary education for all. Methods of teaching in Marxism. Emphasis is laid on practical aspect of educational instead of theoretical aspect. Marxist education is based on the principle of learning by doing. Education should not be confined within the four walls of the school. The natural environment and the community at large will also serve as great books and teachers. Marxist education emphasizes learning through personal experience of the child. It emphasizes group activity instead of individual activity. Role of the teacher in Marxist education. The role of the teacher is significant, crucial in Marxist education. He must be fully acquainted not only with the content of the education but also the Marxist methodology of teaching as well as Marxist aims of education. A Marxist teacher must entirely be different in attitude and temperament from a bourgeois teacher. His philosophy of teaching will be the Marxist philosophy. According to Lenin, a best Marxist worker can only be a best Marxist teacher. He should not have only mastery on the content of education but also have consciousness about life, social environment and communist ideology. He should possess sound health, respect for cultural heritage, deep patriotic sense, socialistic bent of mind and true patriotism.